70. What comes to mind? Maybe it's retirement, empty nests, a quieter life, perhaps even a sense of winding down. But what if I told you 70 isn't an ending, but a glorious beginning? Think back to your younger years, the dreams you held, the ambitions you chased, and maybe some that slipped away. Now think about the next chapter. How much time do you truly have left to live fully, to make those dreams a reality, to rediscover passions you thought were gone? This isn't about clinging to youth. This is about reclaiming your power, your purpose, and shaping the rest of your story on your terms. In this video, you'll discover how to let go of what no longer serves you, redefine health and happiness, and create a legacy that inspires generations to come. Don't let precious years slip by, unfulfilled. The time to begin is now, right here, right now. Let's explore how you can make the next decade your best one yet. 78-year-old Margaret from Ohio stared at the meticulously organized photo albums, a familiar ache settling in her chest. Retirement had arrived like a thief in the night, stealing not only her career as a librarian but also a sense of purpose she hadn't realized she relied on so heavily. The quiet house, once a haven, now echoed with the silence of an empty nest and a life seemingly winding down. Days blurred into weeks, filled with the monotonous rhythm of routine. The vibrant energy she once possessed felt drained, replaced by a quiet resignation. She'd find herself staring out the window, watching the world move on, feeling increasingly disconnected from the life that had once pulsed with excitement and purpose. Margaret's story isn't unique. Many find themselves facing a similar crisis as they navigate their 70s and beyond. The roles that once defined them, spouse, parent, professional, begin to fade, leaving behind a void that can feel overwhelming. The loss can trigger intense feelings of insignificance, a fear of irrelevance, a sense of being overlooked or even forgotten. Ignoring these emotions often leads to a downward spiral, characterized by depression, isolation, and a decline in overall well-being. But what if this perceived ending is actually a beginning? What if letting go of past expectations, the expectations of who you thought you were supposed to be, creates space for something truly extraordinary? It's not about ignoring the pain or pretending everything's fine. It's about acknowledging the change, accepting the loss, and then consciously choosing to create a new and fulfilling narrative. Margaret's journey is one example. She eventually found her way to volunteering at a local library's children's story time. Surrounded by the laughter and curiosity of young minds, she found a renewed sense of purpose, rediscovering the joy of reading and sharing her love of books with a new generation. It was a different kind of role, a different kind of fulfillment, but it reminded her of her intrinsic value and abilities. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about making space for what truly matters. It's about embracing the possibility of new passions, new friendships, and a new definition of what it means to live a meaningful life in your 70s. This isn't a fairy tale ending, but a realistic starting point. In the following sections, we'll explore practical strategies for finding your new path, for discovering what your next chapter could hold, and for designing a life that resonates deeply within you. But Margaret's experience, while deeply personal, highlights a broader truth about aging. It's not just about the years accumulating, it's about how we choose to live them. And in our 70s and beyond, we have the power to redefine what healthy and happy truly mean. Think of 70 as a fresh start, a chance to recalibrate and create a life that's vibrant and fulfilling, even with the changes our bodies inevitably undergo. Take 82-year-old Arthur Jenkins from California. Arthur always prided himself on his independence, a life filled with gardening, woodworking, and daily walks along the beach. Then arthritis crept in, slowly stealing his mobility. He went from enjoying long strolls to struggling to even get out of his chair. Depression started to settle in like a heavy fog, making Arthur feel trapped and alone. His world, once full of activity and joy, felt like it was shrinking. The pain wasn't just physical, it was a deep sense of loss and frustration. He felt like he was losing himself, losing the life he loved. Then something shifted. Arthur's daughter, noticing his despair, suggested he try water aerobics. He scoffed at first. Water aerobics? That's for young people, but his daughter's gentle persistence, coupled with his own desperation, eventually won him over. The change wasn't immediate. The first few sessions were painful, even embarrassing. Yet slowly, he began to notice the difference. The buoyancy of the water eased the pressure on his joints, allowing him to move with less pain. The gentle exercise improved his strength and flexibility. Most importantly, he discovered a community of people his age, with similar challenges and even shared stories of past triumphs. They laughed together, they encouraged one another, and they shared a common goal: to move, to feel better, and to embrace this next stage of life on their own terms. Arthur's story shows us that adapting to change isn't about giving up. It's about finding new ways to stay active and engaged. It's about listening to our bodies and our hearts and finding activities that nurture both our physical and emotional well-being. Maybe it's not gardening, perhaps it's chair yoga. Instead of woodworking, maybe it's painting. Perhaps that long beach walk becomes a comfortable seated stroll, or even just watching the waves from a balcony. The point isn't about doing things exactly as you did before. It's about finding ways to keep enjoying what you love, adapting and finding new approaches that still bring you joy and purpose. What activities once brought you happiness? What small adjustments can you make today to reclaim that sense of joy and independence? Don't let physical limitations define you. Think about what still sparks your enthusiasm, what still calls to you, and find a way to connect with that spark, even if it looks a little different now. Your health isn't just about longevity, it's about vitality, about living a life that's meaningful, engaged, and filled with joy. So how do we translate this vitality into a lasting legacy? It's not about grand gestures or monumental achievements. It's about leaving a ripple effect, a quiet hum of impact that extends beyond our years. Think of 82-year-old Elias Thorne from Arizona. Elias wasn't a world leader or a renowned artist. He was a retired carpenter, a man who quietly poured his heart into building sturdy, beautiful homes for his community. But his legacy wasn't just in the houses he built. It was in the quiet mentorship he offered younger apprentices, passing on his craftsmanship, his dedication, his quiet wisdom. Each carefully crafted joint, each perfectly placed nail, spoke volumes about his character, a legacy woven into the fabric of his town. His story reminds us that legacies aren't solely about grand declarations, but about the everyday acts of love, generosity, and skill. They're the stories we tell, the wisdom we share, the skills we pass on. What skills or knowledge do you possess that could benefit others? Perhaps it's a cherished recipe passed down through generations, a skill in knitting or gardening, or the ability to tell captivating stories. Consider starting a blog, writing your memoirs, or volunteering your time to share your gifts with others. Perhaps you could mentor a younger person, guiding them with the experience you've accumulated over the years. Don't underestimate the power of simple acts of kindness: a handwritten letter, a phone call to a loved one, a heartfelt conversation. These small gestures create profound connections, leaving a lasting impact on those around you. Remember Elsie Peterson, 91, from Maine? Elsie spent her last years writing letters filled with stories and wisdom to her grandchildren, creating a treasure trove of family history and life lessons. Those letters are more than just words on paper. They are a living legacy, a connection that transcends time and distance. Your life isn't just a collection of years, but a tapestry woven with experiences, relationships, and lessons. The thread you choose to weave into that tapestry determines the strength, the beauty, and the lasting impact of your life story. This is about leaving a legacy not of what you accomplished, but of who you were, and the quiet, unwavering strength of your spirit. Your legacy is not just what you leave behind, but the impact you have on the world while you're still here. And at 70, 75, 80, or beyond, the opportunity to create that impact is boundless. The time to begin shaping this next chapter, this incredible final act, is now. Planning for the future can feel daunting, especially when faced with the uncertainties of aging. But it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Think of it not as a rigid plan, but as a flexible roadmap, constantly adapting to your changing needs and desires. 82-year-old Arthur Jenkins from Maine, for example, found that creating a simple, prioritized list of goals, from visiting his grandchildren to finally learning Spanish, helped him feel less anxious about the future and more excited about what it held. This isn't about rigidly adhering to schedules. It's about finding structure within the beautiful chaos of life's later chapters. Start by acknowledging your current reality. What are your biggest financial concerns? Do you have adequate healthcare coverage? Are you feeling socially connected and supported? These are all important questions, and honest answers provide a solid foundation for proactive planning. Don't let fear of the unknown paralyze you. Instead, break down larger concerns into smaller, manageable steps. If you're anxious about your finances, perhaps start by scheduling a meeting with a financial advisor to discuss retirement options. Worried about healthcare? Review your insurance policies and research options that meet your specific needs. Feel lonely? Reach out to old friends, join a local club, or volunteer. Opportunities abound to build new connections. Remember, designing your ideal tomorrow isn't about achieving perfection. It's about intentionally shaping a future you find fulfilling and meaningful. This might mean downsizing your home, relocating to a warmer climate, or simply adjusting your daily routine to better accommodate your physical limitations. 75-year-old Evelyn Reed from Arizona, facing mobility challenges, transformed her home into a haven of comfort and accessibility, making sure that her beloved art studio remained easily accessible. She found creativity and fulfillment, proving that adaptability can be a source of continued joy. Now let's talk about your legacy. What do you want people to remember about you? What values or wisdom do you want to pass on? These reflections aren't just for your personal peace of mind, they're also important to the future of others. Consider compiling your family history, sharing your life lessons through written or oral storytelling, or mentoring someone younger. Every contribution, no matter how small, helps create the unique and lasting legacy you deserve. These actions will not only honor your life's experiences, but will also provide a sense of purpose and lasting impact. So you've identified your concerns, created achievable steps for addressing them, and visualized your ideal tomorrow. Now let's translate that vision into actionable steps. Today, write down 3 tangible goals for the next 3 months, focused on your personal well-being, financial security, and legacy building. This week, reach out to one person, a friend, family member, or even a professional, for support. And ongoing, maintain this proactive approach to your future, adjusting and adapting as needed, remembering that life's journey is a continuous unfolding, a constant evolution, a magnificent tapestry woven with both joy and sorrow. Remember Margaret's quiet resignation? It's possible to turn that quietness into calm strength, that resignation into purposeful action. 70 isn't an ending. It's a grand and exciting new beginning. This is about crafting your unique and joyful masterpiece, one brushstroke at a time. Consider the dreams you once held, the ones that might have seemed out of reach. They're not necessarily lost, but perhaps just waiting to be rediscovered. What's one small step you can take today to recapture a piece of that dream? Share your thoughts, your experiences, your wisdom with us and with others. Let's create a supportive and vibrant community together. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment. I appreciate you taking the time to reflect on these important aspects of your life, and I look forward to connecting with you further. We'll continue our conversations here, discussing ways to live fully and meaningfully in our later years.